All right, we ready to start?
I like to say.
Time start. Call meeting to order. You would hand up the state pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up, we have comments from citizens. Say citizens wish to make a comment. Darren?
I'm good
Okay.
at this one.
Next up, electric department. We have an activity report in our packet. Does anybody have any questions? Or comments? Or otherwise? Hearing none. Railroad permit.
I'll just mention that we're in the process of designing the crossings that we discussed a couple months ago, and
The boring underneath.
right, and get those bored underneath the railroad tracks for some 3 new underground circuits. And we're getting close to the point to start the permitting process, and we do, just more of a heads up, it'll have to fit in the budget this year with what we had allotted for engineering. Will cover engineering and permitting. So, we're not quite to that point yet, but they just wanted to make sure that the money was in the budget, and so Matt and I talked about it, so we just wanted to keep you guys up to date on where we're at with that.
We have to have railroad flagmen out there when we get bored.
I'm gonna guess that we will, yeah. Even though we'll probably be outside the right of way on each side, I bet we'll have to hire a flagman to stand there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, long-term power RFP.
The final version of the long-term power purchase RFP is on the street. It's been, Bob Harbor has finished it and sent it out for public or responses. He sent it to 11 companies that he knew would be, that he would probably be interested in it. There are some that he made preliminary inquiries to, like the Wabash Cooperative Electric Co-op, which we would have to become lifetime members of. So he figured that one was not a good one to send it to. For example, each city council will have a chance to review and accept whichever parts of the responses that they like. So if, for instance, Cahokia wants to do block and index approach, in other words, they will have different points during the year and where they would set their peaks differently. You take more risk that way. You would take more. The city would take more risk, so they'd probably get a better price. We'd have that option. That will be one of the options that will be sent back in the well, we assume that the responders will put some of those options in their responses. Or we can do what we do now, which is full requirements. In other words, we say anywhere between 0 and 10 megawatts based on our power profile, and our estimate of our power usage, if we're anywhere close to that, and under the 10 megawatts, then you got to get it to us, and you got to get it to us within the price that you give us. Of course, that means that Ameren or whoever else it is going to have to take more risks, so they're going to charge you a little bit more. So, but those are the options we'll have. The bids are due. The proposals are due back by December 18th, and then there'll be a lengthy period of review, discussion. We have in the bid that we can reject all offers or negotiate based. It's a sort of a starting point as much as anything. So that's okay. So they're due back December 18th. And I'll keep you posted. There is a meeting coming up on the 11th in Columbia, MPOA, so I'll have a chance to talk with some of the cities down there about what they think.
Okay.
That's it.
the 18th, that's our municipal
But,
mayor dinner.
well, the RFPs are due, we're not gonna, so Bob Harvey, yes, that is, yeah,
Okay.
that's good for mention
Yeah.
later on, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other under electric department?
Just mention on the LED lights for Columbia Street. Talked to double checked with the distributor last week. I wanted to give you guys some kind of heads up here tonight, and they will finally ship on Wednesday. So,
We'll have it up by Friday.
when you talk, yeah,
The ship,
Yeah.
they'll get to us by.
they will leave the factory on Wednesday. When they get to us, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
by Christmas maybe?
Yeah, that's, yeah, keep your fingers crossed. So there was some order confusion, based on the distributor, that was the factory's fault, so we don't know, but either way, the very first time we ordered them, they didn't even get ordered. So that is part of the delay. And so then there was some pricing dispute between the distributor and the factory, and so manufacturer, so.
Did you work
I
it
think
for
we got everything straightened out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Fingers crossed by Christmas,
All right.
I think. Hopefully sooner.
How many?
5. Yeah, the 5 along Columbia Street,
All right.
near CIS.
Okay. Anything else? Next is the water and sewer department. We have an activity report in there from the water department. Anybody have any questions or comments? I have one. I see we sent in a response to the DNR inspection letter. We haven't heard anything back then.
I think it's probably a done deal. Once they get the letter, they're good to go.
All right, sounds good. Anything underwater?
I don't have anything.
No,
Okay.
good.
Anything under sewer?
No.
Good to go?
You?
We're, I assume that we're still doing good as far as getting the water pumped out?
Northwest is almost empty. Northeast is probably got a quarter full. So we're in pretty good shape, and we're pumping to the overflow every day we can, so we're doing pretty good with it right now.
Any other underwater and sewer? Public Works. We have a street and sanitation department report, activity report.
You forgot to mention your new guy started. Or I guess you guys, I don't know if have we had a meeting since then?
But either way, I'll
Yeah.
mention that our new man, Andrew Alton, started
Yeah, I guess
just
it
2 weeks ago, yeah, on the 17th, he
Yeah.
started.
It would have been before the last, the day of the last
Yeah.
Yeah.
council.
Okay. I haven't mentioned that to everyone.
Yeah. Right, sorry.
Meeting setting, that's all right, but yeah, he started and doing well.
Does he have an electrical background or?
He has the training through Lintech.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
yeah, it's his first apprentice lineman job. He's done a lot of farm work, a lot of equipment operation, things like that.
All right. So got some experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
All right. So any questions or comments on the activity report for the Public Works? Anything under, along the streets? We have a sidewalk grant update.
The Mid-Missouri Regional Planning Commission is going to serve as the primary discussion place for the all the grants. There were about 30 submitted in our district. There's $3 million available in our district, and there's a maximum project funding. The state was up to $500,000 per project. It's up from, it used to be 250, now it's $500,000. So they could fund as few as 6 projects. So
Competition is stiff.
the competition is stiff. And Columbia's in there, and I think Jeff City's in there. So I'm not trying to say we aren't going to get a grant, I'm just saying, if we don't get a grant, it's not because Christina or Katrina didn't do a great job. Maybe I didn't do a great job, but you can't blame that.
What was the price of, or what was the value of our grant, or however you want to phrase it?
The total project would have been $170,000, somewhere between $170,000 and $175,000. So our contribution would have been about $35,000. Will be $35,000.
Yeah.
We're gonna sound optimistic.
Okay. All right. Sanitation. Trash rates. And we do have a report from Matt in our packet.
I kind of cut out the activity report there, but I guess that's with the streets. But yeah, I talked with John Glasscock today at the City of Columbia, and they don't anticipate increasing the gate rate in October of this year. They do have a consultant study when I also talked to Cynthia Mitchell, who is their solid waste utility manager, she thought that they were looking at raising the rate as high as $44 per ton in the next 5 years or so. But John Glasscock indicated that today that it wouldn't go below $41 a ton. As it stands now, though, I think to come close to breaking even, or at least covering the increase in the cost, preparing an ordinance for a $1 increase is probably a good step. That should probably hold us for a couple of years. If we start on January 1, we should be able to carry it through at least until the FY 2017 budget.
Okay.
So that would be April of 2016. I just threw in the little graph about, we are actually, the amount of trash you throw out tends to track with the economy. So in a better economy, you throw out more trash. Kind of see that the amount of we disposed of went down after 2008 and kind of troughed around about 2011, has been going up since. So our cost for collection is pretty much fixed. We don't charge based on the amount you pick up. And we do to some extent for commercial, but for residential trash, we charge you one rate when we pick up whatever you put out. So as the gate rate goes up, it cuts into our, there are some operational costs that vary, but not a lot. The cost for the guy is going to be the same. The cost for the mileage is going to be roughly the same.
Right.
So if the gate rate goes up, we pretty much are stuck. And the only way we can cover it is by raising rates. And I kind of gave you a quick chart about what other rates are around. We would be among the higher ones.
We still don't have a fuel charge, so that's.
Yeah, we're not going to charge ourselves a fuel charge.
What does fuel charge, is that?
It's a few cents. It is fixed on. There's a dollar figure for gas at the pump, and if it's over that by a certain amount, for every. I think.
So basically, it's a surcharge on your basic rate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So, for example, I guess I have Mexico down there, 10.97. It's been over 11, and it's been, it kind of varies by year. I don't think they change it. Well, I can't remember if they change it month to month. But so that rate is a little bit variable. Excuse me. What else was I going to mention?
Mobility seems pretty high.
Well, mobility is $21 if you have a cart. It's 11 $64 for the service, plus you have to buy specific bags. So if you could easily get close to that $21 a month if you use, I think you'd have to use 2 or 3 bags a month. I also called Dane's, or Love's transfer station in Scott's Corner, east of Mexico, and their gate rate is $48.
Where do they take theirs to?
Unless it's changed in the last couple of years. They then haul theirs to, it's a Cardinal, I don't know what it's called now, but it's near Bowling Green. Do they still go to the Bowling Green?
I think so, I think that's right. They just have a transfer station,
Yeah.
Right.
so it's all concrete, nice building, so, you know, you just back in, dump, and not like, go down to Columbia and got into the mud. I think it's a very, very nice
I
facility there.
was out at that site on last Wednesday.
Yeah.
I talked to Dave.
Yeah.
Now, I think he's indicated that he'd be willing to, I mean, he's in the past has been willing to make a bid on our trash. I think actually the last time he bid on it was his letter from the 2012 was about $8.15 per resident. Now, the rate that Mexico charges and the rate that Danes charge them is significantly different. Danes charges them a couple of dollars or more than that. They also they collect enough to pay for the costs of their HHW facility. They collect enough to make a small payment, and a small payment of $30,000 a year to Handy Shop to provide drop-off service, and then they provide the cost of the collecting the bills. So if their rate to us was $8.15, our rate to the customer would not be below $10. Then we have to ask if we want to add in any other service. So but that was their bid
Well,
from
we've got
2012. also.
We've got our landfill that we have to take care of also, so that's gonna
Yeah.
come from someplace.
Right,
And that comes
exactly.
out of this fund. So
Exactly.
things like that would be in there.
So,
Yeah, that was back when our trash truck burned up.
right, and then what was it? Did
And he did mention to me that he would dearly love to service Centralia.
yeah, well, I'm sure. And I can't. I'm not reading. I probably had when it was how much they charge for curbside recycling, but I don't see.
No, but they do offer it in
Yeah.
several different
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
Well, they offer it in Hallville.
Once a month in the hospital.
That's about
Yeah.
possible, yeah.
And I'm assuming that the price is based upon how many times a month that you do offer it.
It's also based on how many houses, he said. I can't remember, it wasn't a large amount, but I think he said like, halls like do it once a month, it's just based on how many houses they do. Like 200 houses, it's like $1 stop, you know, whatever they, figure, it's just a set fee like that.
We went out for a bid on trash service in Fulton in about 2009, 10, somewhere in there. And Dane's bid on it, and my recollection was that his charge to pick up the trash in Fulton would have been around $7.50, and his rate, he would have been half again to do curbside recycling once a week. Something like that. Anyway.
All their trash to.
Fulton, they Jeff City now. They promised all their trash to Jeff City. They got a little bit below the gate rate, which was 42. I don't know what it is now. That was a year ago. That was over a year ago.
Excuse me. Pass that place there.
Yeah. But okay, if it please the committee, I'd prepare an ordinance for the Board of Aldermen for the next meeting.
Well, I would think so. We're gonna go in the hole with this last trash increase. If we don't,
Yeah.
a dollar a month might be a little more than what we need, but that should also last for several years.
That's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
When was the last trash rate go up?
It's not that long ago.
I'm thinking it was a year or two ago.
Yeah, it's just been the last few years.
Yeah.
It's not real, I don't think it was last year, but, I think it might have been 2 years ago.
And it was a pretty significant jump then.
Well, we got these bids from Danes in February 12. And about then, maybe.
No,
Uh,
I think it was
No,
before that.
I think it was before that.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
4 or 5 years ago.
it'll be about,
I don't think it was that long, but it's been several years.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
And while we're preparing that ordinance, go ahead, should I go on to number 2?
number 2 is rate and direction pickups for commercial collection.
Basically, we don't have, all our rates are set in our ordinance, and just wanted to give them, have a rate, which would be basically an extra dumpster collection for, or an extra pickup, whatever the regular rate for pickup. It'd be up to Phil if there was if there was a one-time, example of somebody had dumped, obviously, like a deer carcass or something like that in their trash or something where you got somebody obviously doing something,
Well,
but
right
other
now,
than that-
you can pick up 1, 2, or 3 days in the downtown area. You can have, and you pay accordingly.
Right, so anyone who's asking for more than one pickup, within recent memory, but if you're getting it every year, probably should be charging an extra pickup is what we're suggesting. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That doesn't add a whole lot, and it's really not a whole lot on any individual, but it's better than collectively everybody paying for it.
Right.
People might be a little better
Yeah.
Right.
about what they do. And I know there's people that from out of town that do bring their stuff in, so
Right.
it happens. It happens every year. All right, trash collection of non-bagged items.
This one is sort of, I don't know that we want to do anything immediately, but I think over the course of the next several months, we might either start with, people have gotten very spoiled. And we pick up anything and everything. And it's time consuming, which means money consuming, and we're paying a fair amount. What I've noticed is that we usually, we split the activities into trash collection and driving, and then depositing it. And frequently that trip down to Jeff City ends up in overtime.
Columbia.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Columbia. I can't, Columbia ends up being overtime. So I'm hoping that if we get people to put their trash in a container, either one of the ones we sell them or a trash bag, that we can cut down on that. I'd like to kind of, for about a year, encourage it, and then maybe after that point, have a special collection fee. Maybe the special collection fee wouldn't be a tremendously high amount, maybe $10, plus if they have to spend more than 15 minutes there, then we charge them an extra $5 or something like that. And this would have to be, ideally, people would call ahead if they need something picked up. But we pretty much, like we said, I think we're talking about, somebody leave a piano? or
That's what
something?
they put a piano with a bag around it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's not big
pretty
bag.
much anything you can think of has been left out.
Yeah. Maybe that was apocryphal, but I kind of remember that this is our discussion.
The piano was the discussion, I remember.
But,
And it's
that
not
didn't
unusual
actually
to
happen.
see couches are.
No, I mean, yeah, couches are constant. I mean, we'll have some of the old style TVs that are big enough that take about 4 of us to pick them up.
Everyone else I talk to has, now Danes will let you do one bulky item per month. Or they have a bulky item a day, I think it is per, but you gotta call ahead. I don't know any other service that'll pick up a couch without at least a phone call ahead of time. Yeah, and that's, I mean, we also, that again, that's why everybody loves us, but, it might be worth.
We scored so well.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So I don't wanna to take away from Phil's popularity, but you know, it's I think maybe something to look at with the 2000, maybe something sometime next year to look at, or even for about bulky item pickup. For now, I just want to encourage people to bag their trash, separate it from the recyclables, at least enough so that people can tell which is which. And you know, if they do have a big item, it wouldn't hurt. We can get that information to the truck if they call in. So it would be nice. But at this point, I'm not ready to. I kind of want to sort of like a warning at this point that we'll probably have to do that in the first future.
Yes, there.
I have a construction company. We have a shop over on Bar Street. How can it be done to where it's fair for everybody, for the city? I know we've had over the years constant little things of where every week they don't pick up the trash because we don't ever set it out, and then there'll be like a time to where there's a bump set out. Being a construction company, you're gonna have some stuff that is construction material, cardboard boxes, you know, just miscellaneous siding, stuff like that. Now, we've tried to do a lot better about getting dumpsters and things, but every once in a while it does happen, and I know we kind of bump heads. So what benefit is there to me being a citizen, paying for trash at a commercial business, but not being able to pick up what my commercial trash is?
Well, there are some requirements, and I'm not sure what they are, as far as construction materials are not allowed to be thrown in some of the stuff. And that's not our restriction, isn't that from DNR?
No, that's just the city. I mean, we don't pick up anything from new houses because they're not paying for trash service. And that's just been the policy. We don't pick up new construction.
But is there a restriction on construction materials going into the landfill?
No, they'll go down there. No, we don't pick up new construction just because they're not paying for trash service, so we don't pick them up.
I asked Lynn about the reason why we don't pick up construction debris at residential houses. The idea behind it was so as not to subsidize, since that's already paid for. If you put out the drywall and all that stuff in shingles, to exaggerate, I don't know if anyone's done that, but if you put that at curbside, then we would essentially be subsidizing the roofing company or the construction company. I don't know that as long as if we had it where you could pay for a temporary dumpster and be able to put small, if we got the biggest thing we've got is a 2-yard dumpster.
Right.
I wouldn't have any problem with having, allowing a resident to put small amounts. If you can get it in the 2-yard dumpster, the 3 dimensions of the 2-yard dumpster, not 26 feet in the air above the 2-yard dumpster. I wouldn't have any problem charging them whatever their dumpster rate is.
One of the biggest things that seem to be a major issue for everybody is sheetrock boxes. The sheetrock mud boxes, because you can't hardly break them down, and they take up room and things. And I know everybody in town that's ever built a house has took their trash from their new house over to wherever they're living at and had it thrown away. And I know there's been numerous times to where houses were built that they would just pick it up right there.
But doesn't the city give loaner dumpsters for like do-it-yourself projects?
No construction
No,
projects.
loaner dumpsters are cleaning out your house.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like if you miss if your
Mrs.
parents
Spring
passed
cleanup or
away
something? Okay.
and you want to clean out the house.
Clean out a garage after garage, stuff like that, that's all we've done.
Right.
We've had somebody that get them for remodel projects and load it full of plaster, and we can't even pick them up.
Okay.
So, yeah, we've been able to clean them out, so.
Largely, we leave if you're gonna do a large, if you're gonna build a house, you're probably gonna need a 20-yard at least, or at least an 8-yard dumpster.
Okay.
We don't have those, so you're gonna have to go to Dane's or some other service.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, there's advanced and there's a whole bunch of other things trying to do an advertisement things.
Right.
Darren, for my clarification, Phil said we don't pick up new house construction, is that what you were referring to, or were you referring to your shop over there?
New house construction, like, we've kinda had the agreement for the past year, 2 years, whatever, that like, it used to even be like the cabinet boxes, where we would break them down, and now we pretty much break them down, and we take them over. and-
Yeah, you're guys gonna bring them to the shop.
We put them in the recycling bin or whatever, to where before, you know, we would take them over to the shop and just set them out, and they come by, pick them up. So, is that construction material, you know?
Sort of, but,
Right.
but it's recyclable, so it's.
Right, absolutely, and, you know, like stove boxes, refrigerator boxes, water heater,
Big cardboard items.
yeah.
Uh,
But honestly, the biggest pains are the boxes of sheetrock mud.
Yes, and I would say those are hard to break down. Extremely hard to break down. I don't know what the answer is to that.
So what do you want? I mean, what is your
I just want to bring it to your all's attention that, you know, I kind of have an issue of sitting there having to pay commercial trash or whatever, and not being able to throw away trash that comes from my business. I'm no different than a body shop.
Well, I mean, the body shop stays there. You're talking about building in different sites and then
Sure.
bringing it back to a different site.
But you're paying trash.
Yeah,
Or
you're
you're
still
building
paying
up.
trash pickup.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you build a house, don't you get temporary electric
Yes.
to the site? So couldn't we then add the trash fee to the,
And see, I don't think that would be fair for the city, personally, because if you do that, then you're gonna sit there. Now, the picture he's showing you is probably of a month's worth,
Yeah, it could be.
yeah, that they didn't pick up. That it was sitting out there and they didn't pick it up.
Well, one was one day, we watched him unload a trailer.
Yeah, and you know, where if you do it to where you have temporary service at the house, then everybody will throw shingles, everything like that in there. I mean, I think for the general overall thing, you know.
And you're not allowed to burn construction materials,
Right, which
so.
everybody does, when it's this temperature.
Well, yeah, you need something to warm up with.
Well, I mean, in terms of what we look at in the temporary dumpsters at houses, if we allow them to put small construction or small demolition debris, if we said no shingles, then I mean, they'd be, I don't know, we'd have to charge, or we'd have to charge them some sort of exorbitant rate, so they did it once and they learned their lesson. But basically, yeah, there's no problem with taking the construction waste to Columbia. That's not an issue. The issue is, these were loaner dumpsters that we gave to residents. We did loaner dumpsters, we still do loaner dumpsters to residents for a special clean out of their household trash.
But it's household trash,
Household
not
trash.
construction.
The issue that, what Darren's talking about is, if you generated waste in one household and you carried it to another dumpster, that is almost universally seen as a theft of services if you're avoiding paying for trash at your house.
Right.
But what he's talking about is not quite the same thing, because it is generated by a business in a location which doesn't have trash service yet.
Yes.
But like, you know, one of the possibilities would be to have some sort of temporary trash service there. But for the most part, are you using, are you using an?
We get Clell containers.
Yeah,
is what-
okay.
Is what we do,
Yeah.
but it's always at the very end to where you have all
Right.
your cardboard comes at the end, it seems like, and all
Well,
your,
yeah.
you know, just little
You're pretty
scraps
well
out
done
of the
with all
yard.
the
and-
others now.
So,
Well, I don't want to get too far out in the
sure.
weeds, but go ahead.
no, but I guess I didn't realize that we picked up just big piles of trash. I always assumed everybody put their trash in a container
No.
of some sort.
That's the way we'd like it to be, but we, someday, maybe when it gets a little warmer, I was talking to Dave, and he was saying, you really want to understand your trash service, get on the truck and spend a day out there, so maybe someday when it's a little warmer. that'd be what we do. I'm getting over it here.
There's advantages and disadvantages.
Better this time of year.
Yeah.
I don't want you right.
It doesn't smell like bad.
Well,
Time of year.
We'll pick that 40-degree day. But when I went out on the recycling truck, I got to see a lot of it, and honestly, I couldn't tell. You know, there was a lot of houses on the one day I went out there that had stuff, set out there, and it almost got to the point where you've had a kind of rough-looking tricycle. Those guys are wondering, is this trash or did the kid leave his trike by the street? It gets to that.
It'd be trash.
Yeah.
I imagine you've had calls from
You
people
don't have
saying,
that option, it's trash. If it's there by the curb, it's trash. Pick it up, throw it away.
There's been lots of discussions on that over the years. Throwing things away and people holler and, so if we even think it's not trash, we'll just toss it back in the yard and leave it. They want to throw it away, we'll let them do it next week.
If you see it twice,
I
you
can
gotta
remember.
figure it's trash.
File
Having
cabinet or something like that.
busted up trash can that I kept trying to throw away. And they kept giving it back to me. I couldn't figure out how, I finally put a sign on it, this is trash.
We have thrown some away that were literally falling apart and people holler and we'll have to give them a new trash can.
Well, Darren, I don't know what the answer to your question is, but I think it's something that we probably ought to discuss a little bit more. So, maybe we can come up with something.
So what percentage of the trash at the end of the job, at the end of the job, about what volume of trash do you have to get rid of?
I'd say you might have a ton. At absolute worst case scenario.
Is that because it builds up over the life of the construction, or is that?
Quite honestly, it's gonna really kind of vary on how much room's in the dumpster and who calls the dumpster in and things like that. I know we use a dumpster. I have no idea what Kurt Kelly does. I have no idea what John Smith does.
Kurt's got a dumpster sits at his shop from Danes.
And so he brings it to his shop.
He's got one
Puts
there
it
all
in
the time,
in
yeah.
his dumpster at his shop.
Yeah, he's got like a 5 or 6 yard or something, a lot better than
Because
ours.
a roll-off dumpster is usually about $100 to set, about another $100 to get pulled or more, and then the tonnage.
I think you're pretty close. 175 and then 75 for pickup.
So it's not
And $3 a day.
You can usually get
Yeah.
3 to 5 tons maybe in a 30
But-
yard dumpster if you pack it.
But we always get the 40 yarders,
Yeah,
the big ones whenever we do it. And like out of Mystic, we'll have one show up tomorrow, and it'll sit there until the yard's sodded, pretty much.
And they usually charge a rent per month.
$3 a day usually.
$2 a day.
Mhm.
But if you could get rid of all your cardboard, how much would that cut it?
Oh, you probably honestly have my dump trailer full of cardboard when it's broke down.
It seems like somebody would.
And the
Handy
one thing
shop
you
or
can't
something
do
you want.
breakdown is basically your sheetrock.
The sheetrock boxes.
I mean, there's really no way of doing it.
You
That's
could stomp them, and then you could probably stomp one, but
Well, I got a solution for that. Make sure I'm sheetrock.
yeah.
Don't buy that premix stuff, that's waste.
There's your solution. There's your solution.
Of course, then you gotta get rid of the boxes at the premix,
No, it comes in a bag.
It comes in a bag, okay.
I don't know what cardboard sells for now, but it's been $80 to $120 a ton in its bale. So there's got to be somebody out there who wants it.
Well, but the sheetrock boxes, they got the plastic in them and everything else in there. There's not much you can do with those, though.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I'd have to look at it again, it's been a while since I looked.
Just wanted to bring it up.
All right.
All right.
So, when I bring that ordinance forward, do you want me to put in there a rate for a residential dumpster for anything that will fit, that's legal? No shingles, but, well, general small time, like, if you've got some PVC pipe and little drywall scraps and that sort of thing, but if they're doing a small do-it-yourself project, because what do they do with it? I guess they hide it in their black bags. I mean, otherwise, how are you gonna get rid of?
They just throw it in a little at a time.
Take
Take
it
it there in the dumpster and put it in.
So if somebody wants to do it right, we give them an option. How's that?
I would say that would probably work.
I think so.
And then one loaner dumpster for at most 1 month of the year. You just get it set once and you have it for a month. Because I think we've had some that have been gone for,
Usually just do it for a week.
usually it's for.
I think we-
I would say that
Yeah.
you really wanna shorten that up.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I really think we ought to look at a price on those instead of being free anyhow,
Yeah.
so.
Well, okay, let's baby steps.
Okay.
You want to keep.
Hope you don't
keep
send another survey out, that's all I gotta say. 'Cause it ain't gonna be cute.
Let's not throw away all our goodwill all at once.
That's Phil's master plan, and then get rid of the whole thing.
There we go. He messed up by being too good. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he's trying to be not so good this next time, so maybe we can give it away.
This way we can pick it up next year.
So, okay.
Say that in a couple of weeks.
Anything under storm sewer then?
Nope.
Any other public works? Any other? Everybody all right?
I guess it's more as may arise. We are hosting. Have you guys received invitations to the Boone County Municipal Dinner? You'll be here. The menu was included on the invitation. We'd like to see a nice showing of the home team.
I think my wife's going to go
So you're allowed to bring a spouse.
What is that?
there.
December
December
18th.
18th.
I didn't think we ever brought spouses for these.
I think we did.
Just one per each.
One
spouse.
Yeah.
You can't bring both your spouses.
Yeah.
Where would you go see that?
It's gonna be right here at the community room.
It is paid for by the county commission.
Yes, and it's our chance to hear from the county on various things that are going on, and get a chance to talk to them and other people in the other communities. Yeah, we went
Yeah,
to
we went to
Hartford last
Hartford last year.
That's a trek.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
We rode with Lynn.
It was worth it. It was good.
Yeah, we rode with Lynn.
Back.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's, I would encourage you to attend this. It's always a good meal, and it's, and you learn some useful things from it. If you haven't met the county commissioners, you can meet them. So,
Yeah.
I got a couple things,
okay?
if I may, not to be a pain, but kind of. About this sidewalk thing, the sidewalk grant and everything. Back in 2000, I think 2 or 3, Don, we did Emerald Point subdivision. And with Emerald Point, we being Richard Pringer actually, exchanged improvements along Jefferson Street to completely do Howard Burton
Right.
for Jefferson Street to be improved. At that time, if my memory serves me correct, it was like a 10-year plan to have Jefferson Street go all the way out curb and gutter with sidewalks to no chance. The only reason I'm bringing it up, is that on the books? Is that part of this new grant?
No, it's not part of this grant.
Okay.
And it's not on the books at this point. We don't have any plans on it. We have plans on some other things.
Okay.
And they're not on the books until we're done.
Well,
They're
and-
on the radar.
That's kind of some of my questions is, we're out of Cobblestone paying X number of dollars per lot for improvements along to no chance. And here we are back in 2002, 2003, exchanging out things for improvements, and 10, 12 years later, not even getting done. So where's the money going? When's it gonna happen?
Well, the key to it is that I don't know that there was any timeline put on that. What there was is, Emerald Point was relieved of the obligation of having to do it or worry about that cost in the future, in exchange for picking up the other streets.
I bet if you go put your hat back on of working for Richard Springer, that you'll remember that it was gonna be done and the city was gonna do it. It wasn't just alleviating him of the responsibility. There was
Well, no, there was
talked
a
about.
cost involved, and,
Yeah.
but the cost was the trade-off. We'll do this in exchange for this.
But
But there was not a timeline put on as to when the city was going to do it. It was just the city would do it at some point, or when the city did it, that it would not come back on the landowner or the subdivision. I really don't recall anything about a timeline as to when that was to be done. It was a straight out exchange of this work for this work.
Would that have been something that would have been in the meeting minutes?
It probably would be, well, or if there was anything said about a timeline, it would be in there, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't recall that there was anything said about a timeline on it.
Okay.
So, and then, I don't know if this is the time to bring it up or not, but I'm going to, the letter of credit that we require on improvements in these subdivisions. Like, for instance, we're getting ready to have to do a letter of credit guaranteeing the sidewalk installation out of cobblestone in phase 3. Why? Sidewalks aren't in at Emerald. I mean, it's just been continually extended and things like that. So why make a developer go through the extra expense of providing their irrevocable letter of credit if nobody's ever gonna hold their feet to the fire for it to be done?
That's a good question. They don't require it in Columbia.
Right.
You sign a guarantee that it will be done, although sidewalks are left out of Columbia completely, aren't they?
No, you build a house, you gotta put a sidewalk in.
Well, no, but it's not the developer's responsibility to build out the subdivision if it's not done within a certain period of time. It's always the homeowner.
I think it's the homeowner.
They have a lot of open sidewalks, don't they?
Yeah, they usually
Fair
go
enough.
in with I can't remember when it was, 1997, but even back then, you were required to have a sidewalk, and usually on both sides of the street, unless you got, just like we have, unless you got a special.
Right.
distance
But the
section.
obligation did not go to the developer in Columbia.
It was when you-
It went to
yeah.
the landowner
When
when
you-
he built.
Right, and usually it went with I guess with a building permit,
Right.
and then,
It
but
was
then we've
enforced
got
by the
these,
building permit.
well, we've got these lots, and there's a couple over on Columbia Street, and then there's 2 over on Central Street that I know, and I'm sure there are hundreds of others where since the requirement has been there, and I'm sure this is what Darren's getting at, since the requirement, these were built after the requirement to have sidewalk on the side of the street, and no one built a house there. But somebody owns it, like somebody bought the second lot.
Right.
And actually on Central Street, I think it's just a matter of, they built in front of their house, but they have an odd shaped lot, and they didn't do the other half, so. I think we should compel the building of sidewalks, if we're gonna spend.
And I don't have a problem with doing the sidewalks.
Right.
I just would like to see the board of aldermen or the city, however you wanna look at it, do away with the requirement of the irrevocable letter of credit. And I don't know what mechanism that takes, I'm sure that's a merit question, but eliminate some of this expense off the developers, and I think it'll help. I know it's not a ginormous expense, but it is an expense.
State law allows for requiring a bond or some other means to do it. That doesn't mean it has to be done. Columbia does not require a letter of credit or a bond or anything else. They require a contract. And developer signs a contract saying, yes, he's gonna build the improvements. They've been burned a few times, but not enough that it's ever concerned them enough to worry about changing it and require a bond or a letter of credit.
And most of the time, somebody's went in there and bought it and did it anyways.
Eventually, yes.
So, and then the last thing I have is I came in and got a copy of the comprehensive plan, the master plan from Matt last week. Everything that I read for the future expansion for our business industrial center is going out CC to 22 out to March Road. Just a thought, I got a building permit to build a building for myself that is gonna cost me over $5,000 to run gas to, because there's no gas going down Highway CC. I think that's completely crazy that the city would have a master plan of that being the industrial center and not even be able to provide utilities to somebody that would wanna come in there.
Well, I mean, you know we don't have a natural gas utility.
Correct,
Yeah, we-
I do. I do understand that, but what I'm saying is, in my opinion, if the city's out promoting themselves trying to attract all these businesses, why wouldn't they get, all we've heard about for years is shovel-ready sites? And so have utilities going down a major highway. If that's something that has to be co-opted with the city and Ameren to get it done, have it there.
The biggest problem is a matter of paying for it. The city isn't flush with money to pay for it, a lot of that.
And nobody is, Don, but you know as well as I do. You're competing against Mexico, Moberly, for all these same places that everybody else is competing against. And I guarantee you, they're gonna have utilities there.
Mexico seems to be able to get the, more of the funds, from the state to take care of that than we have. And I'm not sure why that is, but they have, had much better success in getting grants to cover some of that.
So I mean, you gotta have something to set yourself apart.
I think the gas crew now, their policy is they won't do until the structure's been in or the curb and gutter, pretty much. As they told us, they can't, like out there at your subdivision on phase 3, they won't even think about it until the curb's poured.
Right, what Greg told me when we were talking about this, is that they will not do anything unless they have some type of guarantee from somebody.
I knew they've been holding up, because a lot of times it really puts them in a bad situation as far as doing things when they've got, they're having to bore, which sometimes is really good, sometimes creates pretty good voids that have to be taken care of later, but that's been their policy as of late, just to wait until something's already established.
Nobody else out there has gas, church, or they're all propane?
The church has gas, but see, the natural gas line stops over on Rodney Griffin. It's 600 and some feet.
The
Plus-
firehouse up there doesn't have gas,
That's
Propane.
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 And then plus it's boring underneath the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I can certainly talk to Ameren and see what they want for that sort of thing. I don't know, there are CDBG grants for sewer and water extensions. I've never heard of one for natural gas. That doesn't mean it isn't possible, but I think that since it's a private utility, it'd be hard to swim.
I would suspect, but it might be worth checking on.
Yeah. I mean, community development for industrial development is a reason for a CDBG grant.
Okay, anything else?
I will not be here